you.
Hey everybody, here again another one. Today we're here to check out Thanos versus 20 Avengers. So I'm pretty much, this is going to be the whole debate everyone was having after like 2018, 2019.
I am not biased.
He has an Iron Man thing in his hand right now.
I'm not biased.
And here we go.
I am Thanos, and today I am surrounded by 20 Avengers. My first claim is that everything I did was to relieve the universe of the suffering it could not bear. My plan to remove half of all life was not cruelty, it was mercy. Removing half of life was the least harmful choice.
Wait, pause.
Yeah, but here's also the problem. When you get rid of half of life, it's only gonna restart. Give it another good few thousand years.
Also, and I quote, it wasn't like Thanos' whole mission was because his planet died because it didn't have enough resources. No, dude. It was the planet itself. It was a few degrees off its axis. Like, there wasn't a major event that wasn't food related.
Yes, what you got going on ain't nothing like what we got going on. Our problem expanded more from just the matter of half the people being gone. We had more than enough stuff. There's just so much
yours
greed.
was literally the planet. There was like a catastrophe that was. I think that's why. Oh my god, that's why there wasn't enough food, because the planet was. They were trying to reserve as much food as they could.
Yes.
You know, Thanos, I never understood. How can you live 1,000 years, devote all those years to one problem, all of that just to end up with such a stupid, hollow plan?
The plan was proven. It was executed multiple times, and it worked. The entire universe united against it.
It works temporarily, but it's not an indefinite solution.
Until we did.
And you had to risk the existence of the multiverse to do that. And what did you do next to solve the problem? Nothing. And my planning is bad.
What we do is never perfect, and we admit that. The problem is,
the Avengers have admitted to having a few small errors, like creating a homicidal robot, dropping a city from space, starting a global civil war, and time traveling to undo their own disasters, and yet people still cheer for them. At this point, their best superhero might be the PR. Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
Valid. These dudes have almost ended humanity multiple times by accident. You know what? Game is game.
The Avengers movie, that was just...
That was Loki just doing the most. Okay, the
no,
second
that
one,
was
that was
Shield.
Huh? Oh yeah, you know
Shield
what? That's 2 times in a row. That's 2 times in a row. Okay, in Civil War, that was Baron, honestly. That did all that.
that we often don't have a choice, unlike
I didn't have any choice either.
You had an abundance of choice. You just wanted to kill. But violence doesn't solve problems. You were smart enough to find the stones, but not smart enough to think of doubling the resources instead of killing half of the people.
Double the resources? The more there is to take, the fiercer the battle to possess it. An excess of resources can be just as dangerous, just as destabilizing as the lack of them.
That is total bullshit.
I speak from experience. I have witnessed planets.
No credible evidence suggests that too many resources to stabilize this planets. Historically, most societies have collapsed from abundance, were actually destroyed by greed and competence, so you could have just deleted that genius. I mean, low-key, I feel like if humanity was snapped in half, right, and there was more than double the amount of resources, I still feel like we would have been lazy. Like, the fact that there was so much to go around, we would have actually just wasted all that, and then we would have had the exact same problem, give it a good... Not even 100 years, I'm not gonna lie to you. We'll just use that all up.
It's like with the... In World War II,
taxes still exist.
We were not interested in nuclear. We were not interested in anything nuclear until... Like, we weren't interested in harnessing nuclear power until
we got hit.
And then we decided to make a bomb.
Yes. Like, snapping half the world, yeah, we'll get more stuff, but at the end of the day, that stuff's gonna run out. And humans are not going to care about maintaining that for longer periods of time when we barely maintain the short amount that we already have. To be completely honest with you, either way, it's the same problem.
Die from starvation, yes. But I have also witnessed society's collapses from having too much, from the greed and endless fighting that abundance fuels.
I don't buy that. But even if your goal was to specifically limit the growth of population because you think it's the best plan, there are many other ways to do that. Like random sterilization of half of the population.
Dang!
Or locking the populations to a maximum number of individuals. In a way that once that point is reached, it becomes impossible to get pregnant until someone dies. I don't really agree with even those, but they are still so much better than genocide.
You really think that would stop them?
Life.
You think they would?
Also, wouldn't sterilizing people mean more resources get drained just to keep those people like up to maintenance or something?
But also, wait, he's thinking about if you do that. There was this movie where an island basically, it was during the zombie apocalypse. It was at a stable number of like 500 people, and it had to be that way because that's how much resources they had. As soon as a baby was born, an old person would like kill themselves. But
dang,
it was a circle of life. But the thing is, eventually there was a twins born, and they basically were in a panic to see who they could get rid of.
Dang,
and they basically
sucks.
And find a way
there's
around.
A point system, and there was a point system that basically said the more good deeds and stuff you do, the higher you up. The lower you are, the more invaluable you are.
Yeah, thank you.
We live in a universe where magic and
Sources close that
technology
Thanos say he might use the Mind Stone to come up with the best
Do you
argument to defend
honestly
the plan.
believe
Listening
people
to him
wouldn't
now,
find a way to
unfortunately, even an
reproduce
object with
anyway?
infinite intelligence can
You're
fix that
really
logic.
trying to convince us you had no other option when you literally held the power to reshape reality.
Yeah,
They are called.
like that's the. You could have just given people stuff.
That's too nice.
Like, if you want to be the galaxy's savior, don't just murder half of them. Just give them the stuff. Like Viltrumites, just give them the tech that they need to grow their society. You don't need to do all this other murder.
Called the Infinity Stones because they offer infinite possibilities. You expect us to believe you were utterly constrained?
Yes. There is probably some super complicated, highly elaborated plan that could have worked. But you used the stones. You know how hard they are to use. The more complicated
Don't use that as
the
an
plan,
excuse.
the greater the risk of catastrophic error. My plan was the perfect balance. Simplicity.
You were going to
and
erase the reality and
in half.
You know what? That is crazy. This man said that's a very elaborate thing to do. This man said, I'm going to erase the entire universe and recreate it in my image.
That's like
so you can do all that, but you won't go the extra miles to just make more resources.
Well, one's harder and one's funner.
Yeah. Okay then. So basically he's just lazy. Basically he's just lazy.
Or he likes to kill.
Things going wrong.
That too.
Your plan is everything but efficient. A hell of things can go wrong. The first I can think about is how killing 50% doesn't leave you with 50% alive. People depend on each other. Children need parents.
Bro, so many collaterals were made that day the world got snapped in half.
That instantaneous loss
went to
of
like
half
a good
of
60 to 70%.
guarantees
I'm not gonna lie to
far
you.
more than 50% dying in the ensuing
You think I didn't consider that? That people depend on each other? That losing one life can take 10 more with it?
Yes.
I did, but dependency is exactly why balance had to be forced. I know it causes chaos. I've seen it before. I never got to try it on my own world, but I did see it work elsewhere. Planets that followed my plan rebuilt stronger. Every time the pattern was the same. Pain first, then order. The ones who survived didn't just rebuild, they built better.
That is what you always do, isn't it? You break the world, and then you talk long enough to convince yourself it was the only way.
Exactly.
You twist every mess into proof that you were right.
And you and your friends love to talk about what's wrong. You preach your soft, easy views. A killing is bad, so you can feel clean while the universe rots the same way it always has. You had the stones, and what did you do? You used them to put everything exactly back how it was. You saved no one. You just made sure nothing changed.
Look, no matter how great your imaginary spreadsheet says the results are, genociding half of all existence can never be right.
I
I wouldn't call what I did a genocide.
You killed half of the entire universe!
Why does it sound like Tom Holland a little bit?
I didn't kill them. It was a
Kind of sounds like
painless
Sonic,
erasure.
the actor.
They weren't going to get a better
You know what? A
ending,
little bit.
even in the best case scenario. It was random and not biased. It can never be called a genocide. See it as a necessary, natural event.
I felt the horror of that snap, buddy. It's still
Yeah,
by
he got
far the
snapped
worst
away.
experience of my entire life. You can call it whatever you want because you weren't
I
the one
experienced
erased.
far worse than that. And everything I did was intended to prevent you and everyone else from experiencing the same.
And who gave you the right to choose for us?
It's not a right, it's a responsibility. I was the only being in the universe with a power great enough to save everybody. And you know it best, Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh my
How
gosh.
dare you? That mantra can never justify what you did. Great responsibility is the responsibility to preserve the right to choose. It's not the authority to force what you think is right onto
What if
people.
they clearly lack the ability to know what's right
They
for them?
still have the right to choose. You don't get to decide what's right, you God-complex maniac.
So, let's say, hypothetically, that the majority of the people of New York decide to start supporting the Green Goblin, for example. Would you let them do that? Or would you do what you think is actually
I am
right?
certainly not going to go and kill all of them. They will certainly be misled, but I will not try to force them to what I think is right. I will try to understand and...
You know what? That's the thing, too. You can't default to mass murder. He didn't even try to tell them what his planet did wrong, mind you.
Oh, no.
He didn't once try to say or like give his perspective. He just went right to the halving. That's about it. He didn't say, "This is what happened to my people. Let's try a different way."
Look
You
at
get what I'm
this.
saying?
Interesting. As a
see where
remark,
they are coming from.
Oh, my
similar
bad, sorry.
situation once occurred when the world actually did turn against Peter after Mysterio exposed him. He didn't quite understand and guide anyone. Instead, he asked a wizard to erase everyone's memory.
Yep.
And then guide them and inspire them
And almost
to do what's
ended
right.
reality.
That's the true responsibility that comes with power.
My second claim is, emotions
who's it
have
gonna
no
be?
place in decisions that shape the universe. The Avengers act from fear, anger, and guilt. I act from reason. I see the wound. I make the cut. Pain is irrelevant if it brings balance. Emotion
I
clouds
mean, aren't
judgment.
you acting off
Logic
emotion because of
brings
what happened to
order.
your planet?
You can't
Either
claim
way.
that, Thanos, when you yourself are a terrible
no.
emotional mess.
I didn't doom the future of the universe just because I refused to sacrifice beings I love.
I mean,
Beings
low-key,
that are
he threw his
actually
daughter off a cliff.
insignificant in the grand scheme of
Acting
things.
pragmatic doesn't work when
I
your emotions...
sacrificed everything, even myself. I was ready for everything I love, even my
still
own
there.
self, to be erased in that snap. Because I can see the bigger picture.
Acting pragmatic doesn't work when your emotions are the reason you were blinded enough to proceed with such a crazy plan.
I didn't want to do that. I sacrificed all I wanted to do what's best for the others. I kept my heart in constant pain because I know the mind is the path to virtue.
You are only acting out of trauma. When you
Yes.
saw your planet dying, you suggested genocide and you were laughed out of the door. When it fell apart, you were ashamed and you developed a deep...
Low-key, that is crazy. Your planet's going through like a global crisis, and this random man comes through and says, "Hey, let's wipe half of us out." Does that include you too? I'm sorry, which side of the line are you on in this? Like, imagine,
me and my wait,
no,
no,
imagine
it's like,
he says that, right?
Wait,
and
wait,
then he
no,
said,
no,
"Okay, do you want to be a part of that 50?" He's like, "Oh, no, not me though."
no. Here's what it would be funny. It's like half of humanity. My family's grandfathered in.
Wow. No, but imagine he gives that plan, right? And then they say like, "Okay, but what if you're part of that 50?" And he's like, "Wait, not me though. Like, I want to see how the thing ends up for real. Like, no, you can't be like that now when you suggested the play."
selfish need for redemption. You were humiliated last time, so you would let nothing stop your plan, not even
No,
logic.
Doctor. You mistake trauma for clarity. My planet's death didn't wound me. It opened my eyes. I watched a civilization collapse because it chose comfort over truth, hope over balance. I learned that emotion blinds, that mercy can doom more lives than cruelty ever could. I didn't act from grief.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, he didn't. Oh my gosh. That's actually hilarious. You know what's crazy? Yeah, he never brought back his home planet. He never did. Didn't he once just use the reality stone to make the entire planet back to how it was, then turn it right back to immediately what it was afterwards to prove a point? Infinity War, this man was on Titan, this man reality warped the whole planet just to make a visual point, to do like a slideshow.
But chose not to.
Yes. Phenomenal cosmic power. Just had such a delirious
acted
mindset.
from vision. I saw what no one else would see, and I did what no one else would
You
dare.
sound like I once did. Back when I was a surgeon, I believed precision and control could solve everything.
Hey, fair.
Pain,
Fair.
chaos, even death itself. I was so obsessed with logic, I forgot I was human. Losing my hands forced me to learn balance. Now I let my heart guide me as much as my mind. I don't ignore emotion anymore. I trust it when it tells me
You always
what's
speak
right.
like a man examining a patient, pretending you see everything that others can't. You stand there.
But he literally can. He saw 14 million something futures within the span of like, what, a few seconds? Like about a minute? He actually can see things beyond the regular person. So that argument doesn't even help anymore.
Dissecting me as if I'm another case on your table, but I am not your patient. I am the cure. The universe is sick, and I'm the only
Maybe you're
one
right.
willing to operate.
Maybe I do have the bad habit of diagnosing. But allow me one last diagnosis. You've got a serious case of main character syndrome.
Dang.
You don't serve the universe. You think the universe serves your story. I used to think like that. I thought I was the center of the world until the universe reminded me I
Dang!
wasn't.
Look! Read that last bit.
I saw.
That's so disrespectful.
The difference between us, Thanos, is that I learned to step out of the story. You still believe you're the only one who can write the ending.
Thanos. My problem with you
boy.
isn't just what you did,
Oh,
it's your
no.
entire worldview. You look at people and see
Peter
problems to
Quill.
solve. I look at them and see lives worth trusting, worth believing in.
Trust them to do what exactly? Destroy themselves? Because that's what they do. Every time I've watched it happen on world after world.
Then you help them do better. You don't just erase half of them and call it mercy. People have a
Fair.
right to choose their own path, even if it's messy, especially if it's messy. That's what freedom
Messy
means.
is a mild way to describe the end of worlds. Tell me, are you saying I should respect the will of the people, even when I know they're leading themselves to ruin? You'd really do that?
They were not wrong. You were. But to answer that question, yes, you should respect their will, even if they're wrong, and you should work to guide them back to
Then
the
let's
right
test
way.
your conviction.
Fair.
Hypothetically, half the universe votes for my plan. A referendum, a democratic mandate. They agree. Erase half of all life to save the whole. The people have spoken. Would you still fight me? Or would you respect the will of the people?
That's not a fair question. The people will never do that.
It's just
But
a
then-
hypothetical.
It's
you
a-
say the
you
people's
know what?
will is...
Wait,
It's
wait.
it's an interesting hypothetical, right?
I just realized something.
What?
If half the universe didn't, it's like, if we vote for you, can we live? And it's like, okay, I'm voting for him. And then they immediately get wiped out and say, oh, I'm taking my vote back. F you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you do realize it's at random, right? Your family, if not you, will be gone if you pick this vote. You can't just say that and then see yourself as a person that's gonna survive. Like, that's another thing too about freaking people's choices. It's always an in the moment choice. They never understand the full like length of what they're doing. It's like people that like are about to opt out, as we say. They don't always go into the long terms of before the decision that they make. And by the time they make it, it's too late to even take it back. Literally, it's too late to take it back. They can't make another choice again. Like, it's always like, that's just how so many people think just short term because they don't know the repercussions of what the heck's about to happen.
Sacred. So tell me, if they chose me, would you stand aside?
No, I'd fight you, because there are some lines you don't cross.
There it is.
Yes.
So the will of the people shouldn't always be respected. You'd override them, impose your moral vision over theirs.
That's not what
It's exactly what you're saying. You believe
Yeah, but there's a difference between, like, showing them good morals and taking them out because they don't have them. That's still the main difference. You can't take the moral high ground when my thing was just, I'm just gonna show them the right way. You are just gonna try to take them out the game regardless of how they go about
in
it.
democracy right up until the moment they choose something you find unacceptable. Then suddenly, you know better. We're not so different, Steve. We both fight for a vision.
I
We
mean,
both
low-key,
believe we're
Civil War
right.
just proved
the
that
only
point,
difference
actually.
is, I don't pretend
No,
otherwise.
the difference is I'd spend every moment before that vote trying to show them another way. I'd
Yes.
argue, I'd persuade, I'd offer alternatives. I wouldn't give up on them. You never even gave them the chance.
And if they still
Exactly.
voted yes, after all your speeches, what
Then
then?
I'd have to live with knowing I failed to reach them. But I wouldn't become you. I wouldn't decide their lives are disposable just because I think they are
You
wrong.
call that strength? Living with failure while everything falls apart? That's not virtue. That's surrender.
I mean, you can't
wrapped
always
in
The world
win.
isn't perfect,
You
Thanos.
can't always
It never
win.
will be. But
That
that's
just
not a
sucks.
flaw. That's what makes it worth
Is that
fighting
Loki?
for. People stumble.
Yes.
They fail.
Why is he
they
there? Oh, wait, you know
rebuild.
what? He
That's
did get
how
choked
they
out
So
by
you've
him.
made peace with failure. Tell me, Steve, if perfection were possible, would
I mean, doesn't everyone have to at some point? Like, Julie, how many times have you failed in life to do something?
I plead the fifth.
Exactly. And I on a Daniel give the same answer. The thing is, you gotta learn how to live with it. You can't always succeed at everything, whether you want to or not, and it sucks, but it's just
you
true.
accept
If
it?
you mean a world without suffering, without hate, then yes.
It
of
does not
course I
exist.
would. But
It
that
never
world
will.
Then
doesn't
why did you
exist.
reject it when I offered it?
Offered it. Killing half the universe isn't perfection. It's erasure.
I'm not talking about that.
Then what are you talking about?
I'll explain it in my next claim.
Oh my
My
gosh.
final claim is that
What's
the
this?
Avengers don't serve the universe. They serve their illusion of being its saviors. When I abandoned
The Avengers don't save the universe, they protect their version of it. I don't know, because I think, like, each Avenger, I feel like, has a different motivation. Like Iron Man, for example, the motivation he did is to right the wrongs he made from his company, right? Steve was just built like that, for real. Steve already had those virtues and just went to war. Freaking Thor, I think he's, I don't know, Thor's a mixed bag, but I think for the most part he's just fighting for what's right and for his kingdom for the most part. Hulk just wants to fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nick Fury, he is just trying to save lives. I think that's at the end of the day, they try to save lives more than just them trying to save a specific part of it, because they're gonna save people regardless. Nah, I can't say that because they do kill. I don't know one Avenger that doesn't kill, actually. I'd want to say Steve, but Steve definitely has killed people before.
Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man, he's willing to do it. He just will not. Spider-Man, he'll do it, but it has to be like the last resort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's not Batman levels of won't kill rule, but he would definitely do it if
Oh my God, the
if it has
Punisher
to be
never
done.
killed.
Julian, get out of here.
my first plan and offered to build something better.
He's killed
A
people for
universe
loitering,
without
I feel
hunger,
like.
without pain.
I don't
They
have evidence, but I feel like he has
Not
at least
because it
once.
was evil, but because it wasn't theirs.
What was your new plan again?
You
Oh,
made me
Tony, it
realize
had
that
to
this
be him.
universe is broken beyond repair. So I offered to create a new one, balanced, abundant, free of suffering.
Right. So you went
So
from
remove
kill
free
half
will.
to kill everyone.
Yes.
Big improvement. Real character
Your
growth.
perspective is too small. I'm not killing. I'm erasing everything and
It's what are you talking about? The same people are gonna be there. So are you gonna rewarp it to where everyone's still there, but they just don't have free will anymore? Or is that just what it will be? Because in order to make that world, you would have to inadvertently remove free will from existing. And just and do like some WandaVision type stuff where you just like warp the whole place to make them do good deeds or something like that.
Starting over. No one will feel anything. They'll simply wake up in a perfect universe.
We stopped you because you're not the god of this universe who gets to restart it whenever you don't like how things are
Fair.
going.
You did exactly that when I did things you didn't like. You played God with space and time to change the universe back into a way that suited you.
We fixed what you broke. We're not changing the universe to fit us. We're bringing it back to the way it was.
Which is what fits you.
Which fits everybody. Everyone agreed with our plan. Everyone supported
I don't think
it.
they will when their world...
According to a recent unofficial poll, the Avengers' plan against Thanos ranks second in effectiveness, with 97% approval, narrowly losing to Ant-Man entering Thanos' okay.
start crumbling again. You reinforce the same system that failed before. Tell me, Tony.
Wait,
You said you don't trust me with
What?
restarting.
Pause. And Road is 50% of to baby Thanos.
To be fair, it's just the baby mustache man hypothetical all over again, let's
The
be
universe,
honest.
but you had the stones. Why didn't you do
Because
it?
I'm not a crazy psychopath who thinks he's a god.
But you were in that moment, whether you admit it or not. You had the power to fix everything. End disease, hunger, war, and you chose not to.
My job was to
What the heck are you talking about? You can't say that when you have the exact same powers. You can't even say that argument when you had the exact same thing he had in his hands, and you proceeded to do none of that. What are you talking about?
fix what you broke. To bring everybody back.
And bring their misery back with them when you could have stopped it. You had omnipotence in your hands, and you chose this, a world
I guess
still
the point
full
of
of
this argument is
suffering.
just
Because it's
out the
their suffering
window.
to overcome.
Yes.
Not mine
You
to
can't even
erase.
say that.
You
That's
think wiping
just,
the
at that
slate
point, it's
clean
just
makes you a
hypocritical to
savior?
say.
It makes you a coward who couldn't handle the universe as it
I'm
actually...
the only one who saw it clearly. You brought back 5 billion people to a planet that was already collapsing under its own weight. Within a generation, they'll...
We'll figure it out.
like
That's
they
what
figured it
people
out
do.
before. Your sentimentality blinds
Your
you to
arrogance
basic
is exactly
mathematics,
why no one should
population
trust you with
growth,
anything.
resource depletion, climate.
You see people as
And
numbers
you
on a...
see them as children who need protecting. At least I'm honest about making hard
I had pause it,
choices
Jojo?
instead
Hard
of pretending
choices.
every...
Just pause it.
What?
He said he wiped out 5 billion people. The human population is a little over 8 billion.
Yeah, that's a dang near almost 2/3 of us, bro. That ain't even... That's not even half. That's over 2/3 of us. And this is also, mind you, that was 2019. Like, then there was still dang near 8 billion of us on there, bro. You can't just do that. And mind you, like I said before, most of the, I don't think most of the problems just come from the fact of us having too many people to go around. It's just the fact that humans just screw each other over too much. That's the biggest problem. It's not the fact that there's too many of us to go around. You can always make more things. The thing is, people just don't do it because the people that are making the stuff are responsible for organizing it, just ain't doing the good stuff with it.
Everyone can just...
Snapping your fingers is easy. Actually solving problems. Actually believing people
Believing
can.
accomplishes nothing when the ship is sinking. Action.
Murder isn't action.
Restoration
It's
isn't
surrender.
salvation. It's delusion.
Says the guy who wanted to kill literally everyone.
To save everyone, which is more
You
than
can't
you.
save people by erasing
And you
them.
can't save them by doing nothing.
Oh, dang, it was over. Bro, these videos don't have, no, outro. They just end abruptly. Okay, so what are your thoughts on that one, Julian?
Thanos had some points, but he really lost every credible argument
Every bit of credibility that he had.
when he was being a hypocrite.
Yes, he said,
You could have done this.
you have phenomenal cosmic power, yet you chose to do this. You did the same thing. You have this. You can't use that argument when you have the same power, but chose to wipe out more than half of all beings around. Mind you, if you're talking half of all life, right? We're also counting those planets that you already cut in half. So now their population is going to be less than half, and you just don't even know what happened to him afterwards. Like, they're just going to accept it and let it be, or is he like, when will he stop? Imagine your planet already gets, murdered in half, right? And then out of nowhere, a good bit of y'all also goes to dust as well. So at that point, it's like, what can we do? How much more can he keep getting away with this? But anyway, that was it for this one, bro. Hope you have a good day, and God bless.
Yeah, boy.